Hello, everyone. My name is Jules, and I will welcome you to my channel. For those of you that join in, today, basically, I want to wish everybody a happy Pride. I know I did a live stream yesterday, and I did wish everyone, and I will continue to wish everybody throughout this month a happy Pride. So, today on this live stream. Hopefully, some of you start joining in soon. I do want to talk about, I will talk about my coming out story and my realization when I came out first as bisexual. I kind of went through a little transformation you know, as I started realizing more and more who I really was, what um, it helped me realize about myself and who I really was, how I felt as far as gender and sexuality. So first of all, we can define both of those. Sexuality, first of all, basically describes what, you know, those that, what gender person you like. So if you are a male that likes females, uh, you would be considered heterosexual. And same vice versa. If you're female, like males, you would be considered heterosexual. Um, and we can go on, with the different categories within our LGBTQ spectrum. You know, uh, a, a woman that likes women is lesbian. You know, uh, men that like men are gay, and people that like two genders are bisexual. And there are many more throughout the spectrum that we can um, continue to go through. So as I was going through my life, um, I've always found that I've liked women. So um, I grew up as a young man, a male, and um, so I was, always considered myself heterosexual. Um, there, now there was many times in my life I had good friends, and I could say that my gaydar was horrible at the, when I was young, because I had many friends that were gay, and I never realized it. Um, and so it was funny that there was always this strange attraction that I would always have friends that were part of the LGBTQ community, and I never realized it. And so I think there was always this tendency for me to end up within the community. Um, and as like I stated just a little bit ago, as when I started dating, yes, I've always liked women, and always dated women. I've actually been in 2 marriages with women, um, and I still am very much attracted to women. Now, when we go into gender, it is actually what we feel inside of us, what who we are as far as whether we're male or female. Um, you know, there could be people that feel uh, both ways, and tend to be non-binary, and there are many spectrums to look at, both sexuality and gender. Um, so with me, uh, as I grew up, um, I remember always, I grew up in a very misogynistic house. I'm a Mexican descent, so everything's very misogynistic. They always thought you'd be this macho person when you're a young man or boy, that you have to be the leader of the household and many things like that. Um, But I remember, and this is after I started going to therapy for, some of the feelings I started having. And I remember when I was very young and remember getting potty trained. Um, Once I learned, you know, after that, I was always finding myself going to the bathroom and sitting down, even when I needed to urinate. So I found that I had more female tendencies in the bathroom. Um, but I never realized that till, you know, I decided to come out as trans, and I had to go to a gender therapist. I had to, look back in life and find the different things in life where I did see female tendencies in me. Um, then going into adolescence, I found myself at times when I was home alone, and I think I've mentioned it in a previous video. I would find myself going to my mom's uh, bathroom, and there was a counter, had the dual sinks, and she had all her makeup, and I would try her makeup and clothing. I have one sister, and same thing. I would try her clothing on, um, and I never thought much of it, but I enjoyed what I was doing in those teenage years. Now I am 53 years old, so I'm a Gen Xer, and at that time, you you didn't hear much about trans, uh, you know, identity. Then even if I mentioned anything at my home, it would probably been taboo or something. Um, so I decided to, I did it when I was home alone, and just did it indoors. Um, so I never, ever thought anything of it as as you know life progressed. Like I said, I continued dating women. Went to college, and I did work at a theme park, and met several nice young ladies, uh, and had nice relationships, and I you know had a very, what they would call, normal life, but for me it wasn't. There was part, inside of me there was something different, and as to what I was raised with. To me, it's normal. There was a woman inside of me, and I never brought her out. Now I have, which makes me feel so much better. So, it's kind of a difference between sexuality and gender. So, um, many years later, I worked at SeaWorld several years. Well, I just give what theme park I worked at. I worked there several years, um, and I went to nursing school. In nursing school, I met my first wife, and uh, I had at that time already uh, joined. When I was in nursing school, I did join the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So when I had grown up in the Catholic Church, so those are two churches that are very misogynistic, and it's very taboo to even, you know, consider yourself gay. It's a big sin, especially having joined the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. If you don't know what church that is the Mormon Church. They are very against the LGBTQ community. Uh, this time, if you were to ask them, they do say that they are accepted to the church. And when you join the Mormon Church, you do get a calling, and what a calling is, it's like an assignment for a certain job to be given, that you have to do, and you do it voluntarily, and it's kind of like when you're selected for it, the you know the the leaders of the church have prayed on it and gotten their choice of what it is, you know. So at one point I was the first counselor to the Young Men's Presidency. So lo and behold, at that time I wasn't really having any feelings on my gender identity because I wasn't really thinking about it because the church was so against it. Um, of the LGBTQ community, they were very critical of it. When it came down to it, I remember after nursing school, I married my first wife. She joined the church, and there was a proposition they wanted to pass to, I think, ban gay marriage, and the church was so, into getting it passed, this ban on gay marriage. I remember we would have meetings at church, and they would give us the proposition signs so we could, go pass them around the neighborhood. Which, if you would go to the church right now, they would say that they don't get involved in political things. Really, that's always been lots of BS because they do get involved, and they usually, try to back a certain candidate. I can tell you, I was really involved in the Mitt Romney campaign, and that wasn't because I was, a member of the church, and he was just, a Mormon candidate, but I liked some of his ideals at the time. I think he would have been a good choice. But now the church really puts him down a lot because he's very middle ground. But they're, they are involved in a lot of politics, and they say they're not. You're talking a 200, I believe it's $250 billion organization that that they've grown into. It's basically a small empire. They've amassed a lot of property, stocks, and this is all done from the tithing money they receive from, from the members, and fast offering money, and if you've ever gone, like, we have, they have small chapels, but if you ever gone by like a massive Mormon temple, you would recognize it. Usually a very, very big building, white with golden angel on the top. So you can see, they spend a lot of their money on frivolous things, but a small fraction of a percent goes to the members, back to the membership. So I was involved in the church, and at that time, that's what kept me from, I think, being involved in very misogynistic culture, religion, is what kept me from coming out. When I was involved in the Young Men's Presidency, I remember having the young men harass another one because they thought he was gay, and I thought it was horrible. So, these are things that, we are still seeing these challenges. So in time, my first wife and I got divorced and split up. And I did meet someone else in time. I dated a few other people, then I met someone else in time, and she was actually very liberal. And I think at times we did argue, and she did tell me, well, what if you were, she was very against at that time, so following the precepts of the church. And she says, what if your daughter ever came out, lesbian? And I was like, well, I said I would back her up. I'm very independent in my ways of thinking. It's like when you look at an issue, it's not black or white. It's always like in the gray area. You have to look at, each individual thing. And as I state, many times, I'm a nurse. You got to look at your patients as an individual, not just the diagnosis that they have. So every person that you may have that has had a stroke, each person's going to be, you know, the effects of their stroke may have, caused different um, effects. And you're going to do their uh, plan of care differently. So it is, that's how I think of things. Um, so it is, that's how I use a nursing model as my life model, because nursing likes to think as, people as individuals, not as a diagnosis. Um, so as life went along, I started really one day I was really thinking, we were already having issues in our marriage, and in fact, we were already sleeping in separate bedrooms. And came along one night, I was really pondering on my life and how things were going, and that night I went to sleep. And it's funny how things will manifest themselves. I had a dream, and I had already questioned my sexuality in the past. Um, in fact, there was one time I remember I had brain surgery done, and I had real bad infection in the brain during the time. And I remember slipping into like a coma, you could say. And I remember in the middle of that having many dreams. And one I remember like where I woke up and questioning if I had, saying like coming out basically to the staff and my wife at the time there, um, and as gay. And um, then finally, when I actually came out of it, um, I remember one day I had to actually ask my wife. I'm like, did I ever say anything about being gay? And she said, no, why? And I'm like, oh, well, I guess I just had a dream about it. And um, so, like I was saying, in time, when my ex and I had a discussion, and I went to bed, I had a dream, and it manifested itself again, that I was part of the LGBTQ family. And in that dream, I felt that I was bi. Um, so uh, I a few days, I went through a few weeks just kind of pondering it, and I told her, I said, I really need to talk to you. Um, and I said, I really have these feelings. I said, I feel I'm bisexual. And she actually gave me a lot of respect for coming out, um, you know, uh, because, uh, you know, she respected that. And um, with, uh, and I just kind of started, following the fact that I was bi, and not that I was, going out looking for men or other women or anything. I knew how I felt. And then I started doing a lot of research on it. And I, um, and then I remember it was right before COVID. COVID did come around, and during COVID, there was a lot of nursing contract work. So she would go on her, she did a lot of contract work, would travel. And during that time, the feelings that I used to have as a teenager manifested again. And I started wanting to cross dress. So I started cross dressing a lot. And, I went and bought some makeup for myself. And, um, and then I would, take pictures and of how I would look, and just kind of, see someone's in the stream here. Let me go in the comments. Hey, Colaberry. Hi, Lina. I'm sorry I didn't have the comments up. I was just kind of talking my story here, and I didn't realize you were in here till right now that I looked. So during this time that during the pandemic, I was manifested. I started cross-dressing a lot, and eventually I talked to a friend I used to work with in the ER. She's also the LGBTQ community. She's bisexual. She's a wonderful person, and I started telling her, and she asked me, "Hey, Jules," she's all, "Do you?" Thank you, Colaberry. I'll continue. So, my friend from the ER, she said, "Yeah," she's all, "You're doing very good at cross-dressing." She's all, "Tell me something." She's all, "I've always had this feeling about you, and you really, really need to tell me." And I said, "What is it that you want to know?" She's all, "Tell me, when you're dressing, do you have a different name for yourself?" And I said, "Yeah, I do." And actually, at that time, when I first started cross-dressing, and started having these manifestations that I was trans, I was going by a different name. I was going to go under Tristana. I'm actually using that as my middle name nowadays. So it'll be Jules Tristana Del Sol. And hello, how are you doing at work? I was giving a little rundown of my coming out story. If any of you want to, talk about it, it's a good way to go. Or we can talk about things, Pride in general, since it is Pride Month. So my friend goes, "Well, Jules, I'm going to tell you something. If you have a female name and you're not using your dead name, I really think you should seek into transitioning, because it is showing that you are transgender." And she's all, "Look inside of you and tell me right now, do you feel more feminine and feel better when you do dress?" And I said, "Yeah." And she's all, "Then really consider doing some therapy, and I'm sorry, I got hair in my mouth. And start considering transitioning medically," and which I did. And I found a gender therapist, and I told her about all, my whole life story, and she diagnosed me with gender dysphoria. And I remember she encouraged me to wear makeup, dress to her appointments, and she told me I should seek HRT. Thank you, Edward. Why are you not such a nice person? So I did start HRT, and this was back in Florida, and I still live there. And I was on it for about 6 months. I was starting to feel really good because, things were starting to progress, to say, and I unfortunately, when my 6-month follow-up came up, our good old governor over there decided to make it harder to get HRT, especially for minors, and then pretty much the group I was going to decided not to do it anymore. I apologize. My brow's not cooperating today. It's not staying under the blouse strap there. So I have a small fan here by my desk because my AC is not working. So you know, I decided to. I had already decided to move to New Mexico. Even before moving to New Mexico, I made my doctor's appointment to have a regular doctor, and they would also do HRT. And now we are to where we are. So that is my story. We can like pretty much be open forum. I'm going to read some of your comments, questions here. Okay, Headwork, I'm looking at your question. So you say you're heterosexual, mental depressed state. I seek inspiration from the likes of you. Why do you feel that you're depressed? That's a big question. What's what's causing it? Thank you. I like your next comment. You say that you like me and I inspire you. Why do you say I inspire you? No. Yeah, it took a lot to be able to come on the internet and start a channel. I know I started it a couple of years ago. I think close back in but let's see, probably we are in 24, probably in 21, 22. And I was 51. So if you look at the name of my channel, I call it Jules Treasures 51. 51 is a very significant number in my life. That's when I came out. I, you know, uh, and it's just a lot of significant numbers. So Headwork, are you a member of my channel? Feel free to like, subscribe on it. Why didn't you want to talk on my channel? Dorothy, who? Everybody is welcome here, no matter who who you've been with, everything. Everybody here is an ally. We've had, sometimes, people come in. I've had people put comments on my channel that I will always respond to. I find that whether you post a positive or negative comment, it helps the algorithm grow, and it can just maybe get to another person that may need help. My channel is about, I call it the 5 T's. So I talk about transition. I talk about triathlon because I like to do triathlon. I talk about training. Training goes in many different ways. It may be about triathlon training, but I also like to teach many different things. And then I talk about different trends. I like to show the clothes that I've bought when I do order a haul, and then tips on just life in general. Well, thank you, Edward. I hope more and more people do subscribe. I've been having it's, it's strange. Yesterday I was at 99, went up to 100. It came back to 99, went back to 100. This morning I woke up back at 99, went to 98. It's been a weird couple of days as far as subscribers. So anybody that I know Colaberry, of course, she's a good friend. I know she's a subscriber. Um, so yeah, I always say please subscribe, like my channel, share it to other people. Um, this is a channel just basically about talking about life in general. Even if you are not LGBTQIA, I'd like to, talk about life in general. Um, I always welcome people that are allies too. Um, like, uh, or so, that's, that's the big thing about my channel. I'm sorry if there's a big reflection off my glasses, but to read your comments, I really, really have to wear them. And I think I'm gonna have to get some type of glasses that don't reflect off the computer, uh, new pair. Um, exactly, very well said at work. Everybody should be allies no matter what the sex, gender. Um, it's, it's a very important thing to all be allies. We shouldn't judge a person by their sexuality or gender. I can tell you in my lifetime there, like I said, um, I grew up and been through a couple of religions or faiths, if you want to call them, uh, that were very, very misogynistic and uh, very critical of the LGBTQIA um, community. I could see that I forgot the Q in here on my title of it. Um, now that I look back on it, I find that, now I have to really find, really that, that's what you're, taught to do by these faiths. Um, uh, Now that I look back more on, and I've been watching a lot of videos about people that are ex-Mormons and, and some are leaders in it. And now that I've looked at some of the models that are out there, I have found that it was very cultish. And, and there's a very good model to look at, you know, uh, at, at a faith or a religion or whatever you want to call it. And, it expresses different types of control they can have over you. And the Mormon church was a very big one that falls right into every question that they ask about. It being called, it's called the bite model. If you ever want to look it up, it's very good. It talks about uh, and they did do a lot of um, control as far as behavioral control. One's emotional control. That's behavioral control is the B. I know. Let me look it up real quick. Okay, so it does stand for behavioral control, informational control, thought control, and emotional control. And yes, when you know there's like sub categories in each one, and they're like questions. And sure enough, I know a lot of when I look at it, and having been in the Mormon faith, it falls into a lot of these categories, and that yes, um, it was cultic. Um, there's many different things people believe when it comes uh, to death. I know it's something we're all going to experience. Um, and actually, it's going to be one of those things that none of us are going to know what really happens uh, until we experience. Yes, it can be scary. Um, yeah, when when we're afflicted with certain things, we need to know how to go day by day in our lives, and and live our life to the fullest. Um, I've grown up with a seizure disorder, and I've made sure to accomplish everything I can. And basically, I've accomplished many things that people with a seizure disorder probably wouldn't even think of doing. Um, I was 4-year varsity in swimming in high school. Uh, I was a road medic. Um, now I'm a nurse. Now I do triathlon. So there's many things. Although we're afflicted with something, we can go ahead and try to do more. My goal in life has always been to help people. So it's very important to never give up. Oh, okay, I can get that head work. That's no big deal. I'm okay. You know, uh, that sometimes people can be. I mean, at times we all are. Um, you know, the at times where like you're saying, I said I have a seizure disorder. You're saying you have cirrhosis here. You put it in the stream. Um, we're giving these challenges, trying to see how we challenge. How we can move forward from them. Uh, I don't know if you've watched any of my videos. There's a big thing I always like to compare life to, uh, about the challenges that we're given in life. Um, like I'm into archery, as you can see. I have a tattoo of an arrow on my arm, and it's actually this is my draw arm. So when I go to the archery range, it's like being pulled back. This is life. It's pulling you back at times, but there's going to be a certain point where it's going to stop. Whenever you're pulling back on that arrow, it's a lot more difficult. But when you come to a stopping point that you can't pull back on it anymore, then you release it. When you release that arrow, it goes many more times. It goes faster than when you pull back on it. That's how life is. It may pull you back slowly, but you move forward in it much faster when that challenge lets go of you. So that's an important thing to remember in life. I like giving that analogy probably in every um, you know, in every video, because I think we all you know, um, we all face challenges throughout our lifetimes. Okay, that's probably what I felt when I was. Very well said, Berry. There are many places that do have research hospitals. Look at university hospitals. Anything like that usually has ways of treating, you know, organ that are in failure. Now, Edward, are you talking about trans men as? So are you talking now? For example, I was born a man, and I'm transitioning to female, but inside me, I'm a female. Um, when it comes down to it, uh, we are trans women. So it can be said that uh, we're trans women, male to female trans. Now, if you say a trans men, you mean a female to male person. So that would be a woman that is becoming a man. Thank you. I appreciate all these compliments. Yes, and that's the big thing. You have to you have to look at inside you and really feel who you are, and how you feel. Yeah, at times you can be being, like you said, personality, be male and female, and it's inspirational. You can be what they call androgynous. Androgynous could be a personality that has a little bit of both. Go ahead, Edward. Ask what you need to ask. Um, my parents, well, my father has passed away, but he was considered the patriarch of the family. Now, in fact, my parents were probably like the heads of the entire family. Whether you look at my mom's side, my dad's side, my dad would take in a lot of my cousins, or my family would take in a lot of my cousins. If uh, you know, at times we always had a border. Um, it was it was actually pretty cool because it'd be like having another brother or sister. Um, now, um, my father, I'm of Mexican descent, so my family has always been very on the misogynistic side of things. Um, but um, I tend to grow up a lot uh, hanging around with my mother because when you look at a misogynistic culture like the Mexican culture, um, you you tend to the dad's always out working and and mom's at home. And then I would go with my sister and my mom to the stores and when they were buying clothing and stuff and um, you know so I would always be in the stores with them. Um, I I remember, and this is I know something that's been controversial as lately. I I would say that as a kid, I remember the big bathroom debate that goes on nowadays. Uh, I know that when I was a kid, my mom would always uh, get in the bathroom to use it. So it was strange that nowadays it you know people find it strange if a trans female would go into a woman's bathroom. If back then a cisgender woman could take her son into the bathroom. Oh, okay. So are you located in the UK? A couple of my subs are too. Oh, that's cool. Um, have you subscribed to my channel? I would appreciate it if you do. Okay. I probably have to look up where that is located, but I think um, the Viking thing is very interesting. In fact, Berry that was in here, she's also located in the UK. Um, and I have a couple other subscribers that have talked to me in here that were in the UK also. Okay, thank you for being a subscriber. I think we're down to needing 4 more people. I'm going to do my next little giveaway here. I like doing little giveaways every like factor of 51. So at 102, I want to give away this little individual first aid kit you can carry in the car for backpacking or anything. Um, and along with that will come a canteen. So, that will be when we hit 102. But like I said, that number, we get close to it, and then it goes down. Um, so I'm in the U.S. I am in New Mexico. Well, let's hope for those 4 more subscribers we can get. So I can do my giveaway. I usually wait. Um, once we hit the 102, I will give the rules on how to enter and go from there. But like I said, last night we were at 100 and it went down to 98. So uh, you know, yeah, I there's a lot of good here in New Mexico. It's a very interesting state. There's two large cities, one being Albuquerque, one being Santa Fe, and they're both like near each other. And from then on, it's just small towns, but there's a lot of interesting places to go backpacking and hiking. Just right up the road from my apartment, there's a very nice hiking trail. I still haven't gone to it. I've already been here almost 6 months. Um, well, thank you. That'll so I do want to do videos about this hiking trail and go and do a hike. I can hear like here's my backpack and it is a Molly system backpack. It's like the military will use here, and it does have. I've taken all the Molly attachments off of that for now because I am traveling to California on Wednesday, so that's what I'm using to travel. Um, it's helping me fit a lot, and the airline I'm taking is a very inexpensive airline, but if your baggage is too big, then you have to check it in, and they charge a lot for the check-in. Headwork, is that how many subscribers you have that you're saying you can send me 3,000 subscribers? I'm gonna have to look at your channel. What's the topic you discuss on your channel? Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And then um, I'm going to do probably a short video tomorrow. My usual Tuesday one. Why won't I like you, Edward? What do you mean you like me? Well, certainly sounds like a compliment. Thank you. Yes. What would you like to know? How do I inspire you? In what view? Thank you. I do believe in God. I would say I'm more agnostic nowadays. I find that uh, faiths and religions try to preach just their way, but I do believe that there is something out there. How can we be the only ones here when there's so much more? Mm, you know, like I said, I grew up Catholic, um, and yet um, I grew up Catholic, and it, the things. I mean, I went to Catholic school, and it was it was not for me, I guess. And then I converted to being a Mormon, and that came through some inspiration. That would be another um, story in itself. It would probably have to be a full discussion, a full live stream in itself. And maybe I'd have to invite some ex-Mormons in here. It would be a great one. Or I'm gonna see if I can get invited to maybe a ex-Mormon live stream because there's a lot about it. Um, and after a while, I did realize the things that are very cultish. Um, and if you ever want to know about some of those, look up someone named John Dehlin. There's another young lady named Alyssa Grenfell, and they talk about a lot about the nuances about the faith, you know, the Mormon faith, and they're real experts at it because they grew up in it. I was a convert, so it was. I did notice things as you know, having not grown up in it, but I also uh, at times was very strong in it. It's it was very different. Yeah, it took a lot of. I think I agreed to convert very quick, but eventually I did gain what they call a testimony as to why I wanted to convert. Now after time, I've really thought about it, and especially coming out, you know, and they're very anti-LGBTQ. Um, I couldn't continue to be in the church, and that's not the only thing that led me away. Um, there, you know, there are many other factors. Uh, so, so is there a lot of pride celebration over there, Headwork? Berry, did you go to anything? I unfortunately missed going to the parade or the festival here yesterday. I'm feeling finally a lot better today. Um, I yesterday I was still feeling, you know, like the end of COVID. There's still 3 people on here at Headwork. So a fourth person just joined. Hello and welcome to the stream. Basically, today we're just talking about, um, basically, like my channel says, I did talk about my coming out story at the beginning. Also, we're talking about, we can talk about coming out stories. We can talk about Pride Month in general, or just anything that you want to say. Feel free to put it in the comment column. Um, if you're, oh, we lost two people. Well, that's cool, Cola. Uh, that happens. Lanya, oh, thank you. Um, I, I love this blouse. The only thing, as you can see, I have to probably get a strapless bra for them for it. I should have put on one of my stick-on bras because my bra straps keep showing from under the straps on it. It's good to see you on here, Lena. Lena Mystic Mama. So what's mystic about you? Seems people keep coming in and out. In and out does sound good right now, but I'll be in California on Wednesday, and that is the first meal I'm going to have when I arrive there. It's a good old In and Out burger. Uh, I can't wait. Um, oh, that's cool. Um, I'm a Cancer, so if you can tell anything about me. Hello, Jules Work. Well, it looks like we have something in common there, um, in our name. What's up, Head Work? It looks like we're getting more people in here. We got Lena. We got another Jules Work. Um, Jules Work. Are you a sub to the channel? Feel free for those that have joined into the stream. Feel free to sub to the channel. Yeah, and I really try to match my eyeshadow to it. If you notice, I did it in almost the same color, um, and it's also got some glitter in it. And then today I freehanded my wings. I didn't use the little, little pattern with that comes on the on my eyeliner. So I feel I did a pretty good job. I'm getting better at it. Are we getting more people in here? That's awesome. Now, Edward, tell me, why will people feel better about themselves being on my channel? Um, I want to know why you say that. Oh, wow, we got lots of people coming in here. Everybody, welcome to the stream. We're up to 5. Uh, I do want to welcome you. Please, if you are new, feel free to subscribe to my channel. Today, we just are talking about if you are LGBTQ, if you want to talk about coming out stories, if you want, just talk life in general, that's cool. You know, I talk about 5 different things on my channel. I call them the 5 T's. Talk about transition, I talk about my transition as a transgender woman, talk about triathlon as I am a triathlete. I do talk about training. When I talk about training, there's a lot of different things I talk about. You can look at my channel. I do talk about survival training. I did live in Florida, went through 6 major hurricanes, so I know how to be prepared. I talk about trends. So as you can see, about different clothes I order, stuff like that, and then little tips, which can also be about being prepared and stuff like that. Right now, our next goal is 102 subscribers. We were at 98, and at 102, we are doing a little giveaway just as a big thanks. This is not to try to just lure people in here. Jules work, what part of Southwest Florida? I went through Irma and Ian myself. I lived in Cape Coral. I used to work at the VA in Cape Coral. Oh, wow. That's cool. What did you do for work over there? Thank you, Hedwork. I know. I used to live in Northeast Cape. I was just trying to think of my address. Was the last place I lived. I've only been here in New Mexico for 6 months now. It's amazing how time flies. I used to work at the VA there in Cape Coral. Now I work at the VA here in Albuquerque. I did work for Lee County EMS at one time and worked at Cape Coral Hospital for 13 years in the ER. At work, if this is because of you, we're up to 101. If we make it on this stream to 102 on subscribers, I will give instructions on how to. Oh, so you worked for IMA. Yeah, it was about by Millennium. I remember. I also, before moving, I did work at Physicians Primary Care before transferring to VA, which was kind of funny because I was also a patient there. Oh, that's cool. Where are you going? FSW, Rasmussen, or FGCU? Also, Jules, coming from the other Jules. Okay, that's cool. My daughter graduated from FGCU. What are you the master of their head work? I find this amazing how with uh, on my streams, I have become friends from the people around the world. And, you know, it's strange how Headwork is in the UK and has referred Jules to my channel, another Jules. Um, and she is from the area I used to live in. Ah, so you find people on Indeed. Yes, The Police Synchronicity. That's an awesome album. I am an 80s child. I'm Generation X. I'm a child of the 80s. 80s music was the best. Yes, I'm Gen X. I can tell you, we were the creators of the X Games. So that's what's awesome. You know, most of these millennials don't know that. Um, I remember going to X Games and, you know, live when you can just walk into them for free. Went to many BMX freestyle contests uh, because that's what I was into back then. I remember, um, yes, whip it good. Um, and the Clash, uh, very good bands that you're listing there. And you know, I was big in the 80s scene. All good bands. You too, also. For those of you that are going to be new to my channel, I suggest maybe you go back and you can watch some of my older videos. So you can, I do have like a different way I do my channel is on Tuesdays. I like to do kind of a, follow up on my transition. So I call it Transition Tuesday. I talk about, the progress that I am seeing. Then Fridays, I try to do like I call it Friday Try Day, and it's not that I'm talking about triathlon. I usually try to show my new hauls, like when I order stuff, um, new clothing, stuff like that. I'll maybe be wearing one of the blouses, um, and then I'll show the rest of the items I've ordered. They may not always be clothes, sometimes I order hats, my favorite type of pistol. Um, and yes, I do own one. I'd like to go to the gun range from time to time. Um, and I'll show what I've ordered. Saturdays, I sometimes do a segment called Survival Saturday. I do have it all listed as one big like list of different videos I've done on it, and it just I do little tips on what to have ready in case of any disaster in your home. Like I said, and Jules' work and I talked about it. We both went through Irma and Ian. I've been through other 4 major hurricanes in Southwest Florida, and it's important to be prepared, because if you're not prepared, uh, it goes wrong. And every area in the world will have their own type of challenge as far as disasters. It could be natural, man-made, anything like that. Right now, you can see nowadays we are going through a lot of things that can definitely end up being man-made disasters. We are seeing it in the Middle East. People are, being challenged, and so being prepared is a very good thing. I will say that's probably one of the best things that the Mormon Church did teach is being prepared. They talk about having food storage and being prepared in case, not just in case of like man-made or natural disaster, but say someone in the family, say they're a very patriarchal society. So say the patriarch lost their job, they always say to have extra clothes, a year's worth of supply of food, so you won't have to, uh, you're prepared for that. Yeah, it's difficult to build up that. I can tell you, I know during Hurricane Ian, which was our last one, which was probably the worst hurricane I went through. Which one was the first one you went through, Jules? My first one was Charlie, and that year we had Charlie, Francis, and Ivan, and then went through Charlie, Francis, Ivan, Wilma, Irma, and Ian is what I've been through. Charlie was rough for me because it ended up being a Category 4. Now, Ian was a Category 5, but the National Hurricane Center only rated it at a 4 and updated the records the next year to a Category 5. I know a friend of mine was tracking the winds, and he stated that the winds at his house got up to 170 miles per hour. Yeah, so you've been around about 6 hurricanes there, Jules. Like this Jules, that Jules has seen 6 hurricanes, all majors. And the thing is, when you go through your first one, it is scary. I know, like I said, Charlie was my first one, and Charlie's not even in the top 10. In fact, when you look at the top worst hurricanes of all time, the top 10. Katrina is not even listed on it. Ian's number 5. Yes, I saw that, Jules, that you're in for a rough season. I hope you're, I would suggest to be prepared. Go buy. I'm serious. I'm going to tell you, there are some very good MREs out there. If you ever, if you're without power for a long time, or I'm sure you have a grill, but if you ever need just like to do MREs, there's some very good ones. You can probably find them online. The 3 brands I suggest, there's one called Heater Meals, and they're really, really easy to make. You just pour the water in there, they heat themselves up, and they make very good flavors. There's another brand that was given to us from the VA, and these are more military style, but they were actually pretty good. They're called XMRE. They come with a power bar in them. They come with the main course, and they weren't bad. I was given 2 big old boxes of them, and they're really, really good. And then there's another one called Heater Meals XMRE. There's another brand called Wise Foods, and that's actually a company based out of Salt Lake City, Utah. It kind of makes sense. Like I said, the Mormon Church is big into preparedness, and Wise Foods, I hear theirs are very, very good. A friend of mine actually bought their kit for 4 people for a year's worth of food. He was really into being a prepper, and he said it was actually pretty good food, and he wasn't a member of the church. That is a very good thing to do. You have to be prepared way ahead of time. There's there was some water they gave us at the VA also. It was a blue canned water, like in a soda can. It was very refreshing. It tasted very different than bottled water. Yes, I would. The one I would look into a lot is Wise Foods. It can be pricey, but they come. I don't know if you've ever seen like Tidy Cat litter. It comes like in a plastic container. It almost looks like a rectangular bucket. They come in that, and you can look at them. They'll order. You can order it in different periods of time. So if you want a month's work, say you want to start with a month's work for a family of 4, you can order that. They'll send it to you, and it's very easy to stack. The meals I hear they're excellent. They look like real meals. MREs can sometimes look a little different. Yes, okay, then you're familiar with them. The canned water, yes, is very good. It's very refreshing. It's a good idea to have. And it's good that you have a generator. Are you on city water or well? Right when I left Cape Coral, they were just putting city water in my area, so it was luckily okay. So you don't need to generate so much to power your water, but they were just putting city water in the area that I moved to. Luckily, I didn't get the assessments because I was renting, so not didn't have to shell out a lot of money for that. We've got lots of people coming in and out here. I'm glad we've had a good um, stream of people in here today. We've been up to 5, down to 4 now. Have you been down to Fort Myers Beach? Is it still demolished like it was before, after the hurricane? I should say before I left. It was still in ruins. I know they got what, Margaritaville up, but I mean, living in Cape Coral, there were still so many things. It still showed so much, you know, leftovers from Ian. It was amazing. And what, we're 2 years into it now. Um, I don't think people realize how bad it was. Yeah, that's what I figured, and you know why Margaritaville is the only thing that went up, because it's money generating. Um, yes. In fact, I had a friend, her parents had a business, a popular ice cream place on on Sanibel, and I I think they've established down in the South Fort Myers area, but the one they still probably haven't rebuilt in Sanibel. Ah, okay. It's called Pinocchio's. I think there's one in South Fort Myers area now. Actually, the young lady whose parents owned it, I trained her in the emergency room. Um, she was in, she worked with me. I left in the middle of January. I got offered, so I was working at the VA right there in Northeast Cape Coral on Diplomat, and I got offered the job. They held it for me for about a year here, and then in January it was basically, you need to come, uh, or we're going to give it to someone else. Um, it was, but it was a good offer. I moved to an area with a lower cost of living but higher pay. So I don't know how that worked out, because usually the government's uh, very different. Usually they say if it's a lower cost of living, we're gonna pay you less. But I mean, like, I'm paying very good rent here, and well, I like the area I moved to. I can say that it's very nice. I moved here to New Mexico. I'm in Albuquerque. Um, it's a nice area. Now, it has its advantages and disadvantages. It's a big city. Um, it, it it's got mountains all around it, and a lot of places you can go explore. You can go to different cities, different monuments to see. Uh, just right up the road from my place, there's a hiking trail. It's beautiful. You know, it's and then there's only two large cities in the whole state, which is here in Santa Fe. And then you have all these little townships. And then a lot of it is owned by the government. There's like, um, there's, there's, you know, like here we have an Air Force base, and then there's a lot of research facilities all around the little townships. The first time I came here was actually for government training. I was on a disaster response team from Florida, and they used to give us all these little optional classes we can take. So I came to a small town called, well, we landed in Albuquerque, went down to Socorro, and learned some very good lessons there. And my friend and I traveled the whole southeastern part of the state. Went out to the very large array. We went to Roswell. A lot of the military bases out there that have where they do like missile research, stuff like that, just to check them out. We were kind of adventurous. Got chased out of the parking lot of one of them when they were doing missile testing tests. So it's a nice place. There's like a monument where it has petroglyphs where you can see where ancient Americans did a lot of artwork. Here in Albuquerque, we have, like I said, there's like this. I live right by the Sandia Mountains, so like there's a hiking trail. Then there's a tramway that goes up to the top of the mountain. There is so much that you can't do in Southwest Florida. I think it's cool. My mom lives out in San Diego, which if I wanted to drive, it would take me 12 hours. So, or I can fly, and it'll take me like what, 2.5 hours, which I'm doing next week, and I can go to a beach there. So, and then you're about 5 hours from Vegas. I mean, it is so well balanced. And then we'll have an In-N-Out burger here in 2 years. So, I mean, that's the bonus. I know I've mentioned In-N-Out burger several times, but it's like the best burger place you ever have, fast food wise. Yeah, I was there in Southwest Florida for 23 years. So once again, everybody that's in here at this time, looks like we have 3 people in the stream today. Good day. We're just basically at the beginning of it. If you want to rewatch this when we finish with the stream, probably be going for about another half hour. I talked about my coming out story. Any of you, want to talk about yours, that's fine. Whether you're any part of the LGBTQIA family you might be a part of. I am myself, transgender woman, and I am lesbian. So, we're very open on this channel. We can, certainly, take any thoughts you have. We try not to be, we can discuss things critically, but not insult others. And also we can talk about Pride Month or anything in life in general. For those, that know my channel, I talk about, the 5 T's. Right now we were talking a lot. Another Jules and I were talking. I'm talking with Jules' work, and we're talking about that it's strange she just joined my channel, and she lived in the same area I used to live in, and we were talking about our experience with certain hurricanes that we both experienced. So, it's amazing what the internet can, how the internet can bring people together. Um, so, any topics you want to discuss, feel free. I I wanted to yesterday. I wanted to go to the Pride Parade, and go to the Pride Festival, but I did not, and I feel like I let some of my viewership down because, but I was still feeling the last effects of COVID. My, in the past week, I did have it. Last week, I thought I was getting over it exactly a week ago, and then Monday I went back to work and they tested me and I was positive. So then they sent me home and I was out till Thursday last week when they let me return. Um, and so this has been an interesting month because I'm going to have a lot of days off this month because I already have some days planned to go out to California. And with the days I was out sick, most of the month I'm going to spend at home or traveling. Um, that's what's strange about it. Looks like people are leaving. Get a little more time, see if anybody else joins. We're down to one viewer here. I don't know who it is. I know I have some new friends in here. I have another Jules Work. I had my good old friend, and I had another friend in here. He's on my channel. I guess his name is Headwork. Has lots of friends that he says he will refer to me, which is nice of him. Then I had my friend Colaberry, which I always enjoy having in here. And then I had Lena in here. So I do want to thank everybody that has joined in. Feel free to come in. We can talk about anything on this channel. So you're the only one in here, huh, Lena? You've been quiet, Mystic Mama. Let's talk. What do you have to say today? What are you up to? You've been quiet throughout this whole time. You're the person in the background, huh? You like to be that person? Don't be shy. You're one of Jules' treasures, and I love all my treasures. And okay, so let's talk a little bit about that, Lena. I'm going to talk about my experience. I did first come out as bi myself, and then I was finding myself more attracted to women, and so look at my hair. I have a small fan on right here because my AC is not working. So, and so then I decided to throw myself into the pan category because I feel pan's very open and you can like people more for who they are, not as much as what gender they are. So I liked that idea as I started finding out more about sexuality and gender and everything. But then I discovered, as I stated earlier in my story, that cross-dressing part of me came out more. And I found myself to be more and more feminine, and I really liked wearing women's clothes. And then, as someone asked me, "Do you have a name for yourself as a woman?" And I told them, "Yeah, this is my name." Then I was told, "Yeah, you're trans." And so then I started going to gender therapists, and I came out. That's when I have come out trans. The only people I haven't come out to is my family, um, but a lot of my friends know I am. Um, and I didn't know how my friends in Florida would be as far as accepting me as who I truly am. And I found that was amazing that many were very accepting, especially many that were very, very, very uh, religious. And so I, I am now out as trans. Uh, there's only two places that I'm not out at. One's work, and one's with my family. My mom lost my dad in the past couple of years, and has lost several family members, like her younger brother, her younger sister, uh, two of her uncles. You know, I don't know if she's ready to lose a son, basically. So I still have a very androgynous haircut. This is a wig. Um, I just got my haircut the other day. I got kind of like 3 inches off of it because it was super long and it was getting kind of messy. So I wanted to go um, something androgynous, just uh, but so I can keep growing it out. I still also another reason why I wear wigs is I still have a little bald spot about this big. It is starting to fill in, so once that fills in, boom, wigs will be gone. Everything will be grown evenly, and and then I'll do my hair. Like I love this blonde, so maybe I'll do my hair in blonde color. I have brown hair, so dark brown hair, so maybe I'll bleach it to a blonde color, little by little. But no, I since I came out as trans, I I enjoyed. I I can't say how much I didn't realize how wonderful it is to be a woman, because there's so much more you can do as far as style. Guys, it's like a t-shirt and jeans, or t-shirt and shorts. That's it. And I think it was my daughter that once said, "Why are clothes even really given gender?" Yeah, I know it's hard. Uh, so like I stated, I had come out as bi, then I went to pan. Um, but I feel I had to kind of, and one thing with sexuality, it can be, and gender, you can be kind of fluid with things. And I found myself very fluid, and that um, when I was looking at sexuality wise, I I continue to see myself mainly looking at women. So now that I am out as transgender, and I know I am a woman in here, and I'm transitioning now, I'm taking the medications, the testosterone blockers, the estradiol and everything. I really know inside of me I'm a woman, and that's starting to show physically. And you can't really see it because of the my title here, but you can see obviously I'm almost at a B cup. Um, so I am physically and emotionally inside. I am a woman, and but I still look at women. So I now consider myself a lesbian. I will. I love women. I mean, and I am not. I don't consider myself a masculine woman. I'm more of a femme woman, um, or maybe a little androgynous. Because yes, I know how to work on cars. A friend of mine that's also lesbian, she said, there's something going on with my car right now. Sometimes I won't want to crank over in the morning, and all it is, I have to open the hood and something's loose on the battery terminal or like on the battery cable. I just kind of push down on it and boom, it goes. So she says, you're going to be a good wife for someone one day because they'll be lucky to have someone that knows how to work on cars. No, Lena, that really makes sense because you don't just walk up to someone and say, "Oh, hi, I'm Lena," or "I'm Jules." Oh, yeah, you know what? I'm a lesbian. No, you don't need to say that. You just need to be yourself when you meet people, when you go out and just casually. So now, if you want to start dating people, yes, uh, you know, at, finally at a certain point, you tell them, hey, I'm pansexual, or it comes out when it needs to. There's no need to disclose everything right away. Thank you so much, Lena. To me, that's what I'm here for. I'm using it as therapy for myself to be able to come out to people and kind of also try to find a way to help others, find themselves within themselves, whether, whether they're cisgender, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, you know, intersex, or, queer, intersex, asexual. It's there's many things like me. I haven't started dating since I started transitioning, and since I moved to New Mexico, I need to start going out more places as myself. Um, but when I go out, I will have to be very open to people because if well, once I meet a young lady, I will have to tell them, I am a transgender woman. I'm pre-op, so if things progress to a certain point, they need to know that when if any relations happen, what they're going to find. Um, I do plan in the next year or so to start my surgeries. My first surgery will be bottom surgery. So my nurse practitioner that does my hormone replacement therapy has already suggested a couple of docs. So, move on from there. Yeah, and also on yours, like you said, it's not a secret. I try not to keep mine a secret, but like I said, it's not like I just go out and put a sign on myself. Now, one thing I wear at work, um, and actually it was last year they gave them out during Pride Month at the VA, and I was still in the VA in Florida. They were giving out rainbow lanyards that say we support our LGBTQ vets, and so I went and grabbed one, and then for a while I didn't wear it because what are my coworkers going to say about me? And then I decided, you know what? Screw it. I don't care what people think about me. I'm just gonna wear it. And so I put my ID badge on it, and I had also gotten a um, this card that goes behind your ID, and it has the LGBTQIA flag, um, and underneath it says I am an ally. So I put that on there. I finally put it on, and I've worn it ever since. So people know that I am a member of the LGBTQIA family, and not, you know, and I don't get questioned by people. They don't come up, oh, so Julian, are you gay? Are you, bisexual or what? They don't ask. And in fact, in New Mexico, there's a very big acceptance of the uh, LGBTQIA family, especially transgender, is very accepted here compared to other places I've been. Okay, Lena, that's a very good question because yes, and I do a weekly update about my transition every Tuesday. I call that segment of my channel Transition Tuesday. So every Tuesday, if you watch my channel, there will be an update on my transition. At this time, I'm starting to feel a lot of progress. I mean, if you watch my channel, in fact, there's a list um, that has all my Transition Tuesday, um, uh, like a playlist of all my Transition Tuesday videos. I think the only one is, I think I'm missing one in there. I have to attach it into the list. And I like doing it because it's kind of like a journal for me, but it's also good for you guys to get to know that. And it helps me kind of chronicle a journal for myself. And I like being open with everybody. And what's awesome is this week I even added a Thursday video because from Tuesday to Thursday, progress in the breast area has been a lot. I have, in the past 2 weeks, progressed a lot in the breast area, especially my left one. It's grown a lot. The areola is starting to stretch out. It's very, very, and then they do hurt a little bit when that starts to happen. But my right one suddenly on Thursday started, seems like between Wednesday and Thursday, it decided, hey, I'm going to try to catch up. And that's exciting because, uh, you know, I didn't, you know, I don't want them to be too uneven. I know the breasts tend to be uneven. One will be smaller than the other, but they're they're catching up and they're growing. I'm seeing a lot of progress. I'm very happy with the progress this time around in my transition. Before I wasn't on the spironolactone as a testosterone blocker, and and this time I am. I'm also on a testosterone blocker called finasteride. Usually used a lot for people with problems with their prostate. But it's a testosterone blocker. It blocks DHT, which causes hair loss, and it's helping get my male pattern baldness under control and growing back. I'm just gonna check my phone here real quick. Someone's texted twice, I think. Oh no, they're not texts. They're just advertisements. Also something saying that there's a new subscriber. So let's see how many number of subscribers is that. If we hit 102 today, I am going to do a second video after the live stream ends. I may keep going on the live stream. If you want to keep talking, Lena, that's wonderful. Even if I have just one person in here, I like to keep the conversation going. We've had up to five at times here. Maybe we can get, the conversation going again. It's cool, we had work in here. We had Jules work in here. So we had names in common. And and we had the fact that we both lived in Southwest Florida at the time. We had gone, both of us had gone through several hurricanes to get there. So I thought that was awesome, cool thing to see. It was definitely coincidence because um, you know, the person that referred her to this channel, he was out in the UK. So it's amazing how social media will work. So, Lena, how long ago did you discover or start having feelings of being uh, pan? It's okay if you're new to it. I'm pretty new to the you know uh, to YouTube. I'm only like I look at other trans activists, you could say, and that's what I'm trying to be, or an activist for the entire LGBTQI family, and trying to help people here. Next week, I start a new schedule. I'll be working 4/10s, so I'll have every Friday off, maybe on Fridays I can go to the local LGBTQ uh, association and help out. There's also a transgender resource center. I can go and help there. I think that would be cool to help people, like me. Um, and uh, that's one of my biggest goals in life. That's why I became a nurse, or even when I was first a road medic. Or a beach lifeguard. I mean, as you can see, all my jobs have been about helping people. I also worked at SeaWorld for 9 years. Hey, I was helping people have an education about animals that were, it was a whole new thing to them. Exactly, that sounds exactly how I felt for many years. It seemed, and like I said earlier in my story, I know you were probably one of the first ones here. And I know Polar Berry jumped on here around that time. And I was saying that I always found it strange that a lot of my friends were usually, um, I always tend to find in my circle of friends, I had someone that was gay. And not that I was looking for male companionship or anything. I've always liked women, but there was something inside of me manifesting itself. Like I said, once I got potty trained, I learned how to, sit down and poop. From then on, it was like, and I knew that women sat down to pee. I'm like, why can't I do that? And since then, I've always sat down to pee. So, that's the woman inside of me. It's and there's those little things. Those are things that if and I'll put this out to all my subscribers out there. If you're male to female, um, transgender, and if it's one of those little things that you want to start doing, that's one of those little things you can start doing without transitioning medically at first, is you can start doing female tendencies, which could be one of them could be when you use the bathroom, you always sit. And that was one of I mean, all my life I always did that. And now as a male, I always do that. So it's a big thing, you know, once you feel a certain way, you start bringing it out. So, and I felt comfortable with it. There was never any discomfort about going into a stall and using it. Um, and then finally, I discovered that I loved dressing like a woman as a teenager. And you know, and then I started doing it again. And I'm 53 now, and I started doing it when I was 51, and I loved when I saw myself as a woman. And you know, I went to a gender therapist, and sure enough, I got this, you know, diagnosed with gender dysphoria. She said I was uncomfortable in my male body. So, you know, it led me to start transitioning. And I feel so much more confident as a woman than a than a man. It's just I feel so much better. I know that, you know, at a certain time, yes, I'm gonna have to start coming out to my family. Certain assets are gonna start showing uh, very, very soon. I'm, you know, like I'm going, I'm going next week to visit um, my family in California. I probably won't come out this time, but the next time I go, I probably will have to because I will probably be showing a lot. And I'm glad you feel more confident and comfortable being yourself. It is wonderful, and that's how I feel. I know at work I don't feel myself because I still go as you could say dead me, because when you're transgender, your old self becomes your dead self, in other words. So like when I finally changed my name from my old name to my new name, so Jules will be my new name. My old name will be my dead name. So basically, it's yourself. You're kind of, you know, doing with one person and then coming up as another. So it's a new person. So, yes, it is. It's very important to learn all the different aspects of it. I had to watch a lot of videos here on YouTube. To me, this was a very, very big place where I learned a lot about things. That's and like I started at the beginning of my video, and like I said, I believe you've been here since the very beginning of my stream. uh, Gender and sexuality are whole two different things. As you said, you came out pansexual, so the sexuality is who you like, how you know who you feel you're attracted to, as opposed to gender being, you know, how you feel who you are as whether you're a man or woman. Some people are fluid in in their gender. Um, you know, sometimes, you know, some are non-binary, I should say, and may at times present more male and at times present more female. Unfortunately, right now at my work, I still present as male, so I still present as my dead self. So I kind of at work, I kind of feel uncomfortable, but I get home. First thing I do is take off my work clothes and boom, put on my women's clothes, put on some makeup, and sure enough, I'm me. And you know, I'll do a video about 3 or 4 times a week. I'm trying to do live streams every Saturday nowadays. today I just happened to throw an extra one in because Wednesday is when I leave to California, so I'll probably do this live stream, and then tomorrow I'll do a video. Tuesday, do my usual Transition Tuesday video, and then I will probably be off YouTube for several days while I'm out in California. Several days, meaning about 6 days, I won't be on here. So I'll miss all my treasures. I hope more people come on and watch the channel, make the algorithm grow. And I really appreciate you, and I love talking to you. It seems like you seem very interesting because this is all, it's a good way for you to learn. First of all, Lena, you have not said anything disrespectful, nothing that I need to correct. This whole channel, and sometimes I'll have a friend from the UK on here. Myself and her are a big thing about helping people that are just coming into the LGBTQ community, and we like questions, and we like to answer them and help everybody out so they can learn everything about or learn as much as they can about the LGBTQ community. One of the things I'm going to say, if you ever have any questions about yourself or your sexuality or anything, I have lots of resources I can get into. I work for the federal government. I work at the Department of Veterans Affairs. And there's a lot of resources we use for the vets, and I can access them at the computer when I get to work, and print them up, and we can talk about them here on the channel. So if you ever have questions, just feel free to ask. We have a department called Whole Health, tries to help a person not just medically but holistically, everything about them, spirituality, everything. And it's an interesting department. I would love to work in it, and it has a lot of resources, and it even has just one part dedicated to LGBTQ people. So they can, if they need help on the outside, they can get whatever help they need, especially transgender. They help them get hormone therapy. They help them, get any type of prosthetics they may need. So if I was a veteran and I went to the Department of Veterans Affairs and I needed a breastplate, they would help with that, at the beginning, because, obviously they're not showing until hormones kick in and make things grow. They help out with wigs until, they can start growing their hair, and they don't need the wig anymore. They help them out with things that are necessary, to show that they're, the opposite gender. So I have resources at work where I can look things up. And I tell people, if I don't have an answer, I will find it for you in any way, shape, or fashion. If I have to research it on the internet, research it on the computers at work, I'm here for you guys. And one of the big things about coming out is about learning everything. And I'm pretty new to the community too. I think my channel's only about 2.5 years old. And I don't know everything just yet. There are many people I can suggest out there that, that fit into similar situations. Most of the channels I do watch, though, are mainly geared towards transgender women. But I'm going to tell you something here. There's a very good channel called uh, let me think about it. Powered by Rainbows, and it's in general looks at everything about the LGBTQ community. He's very, very good. He calls himself Professor Pride. And anytime, like I said, any resources I can find for you, I would. Um, Also, like I said, look up and I would subscribe to the channel called Powered by Rainbows. That gentleman, he's very, very not knowledgeable. Um, he is a gay man, has a husband, but it's a very comprehensive channel that looks at everything about the LGBTQ community, and I've learned a lot from it. Yeah, I their channel is great. I do like his conversations. There was one time when I was still identifying as bi. I looked up his channel and he said exactly what bisexual can be, and it was very interesting. He's all bisexuality can be in many ways because he says it could be a man, a cisgender man that likes cisgender women and likes transgender women. He said that it was his explanation of bisexuality was so very well described because he said sexualities are so different, especially with transgender people. It was a very, very good one. So, it's there's so many things to learn, and I think he does a very, very good job of explaining things. No problem. It actually this conversation between me and you here at the very, in these last few minutes has been excellent. I'm glad that I can help in any way possible. And like I said, just if you want any resources, I will gladly look them up for you uh, at work. I would even go to people in the department and find out. In fact, I'm actually maybe looking to get a job in the LGBTQ whole health department. I think that's going to be probably my calling. Uh, at first, my calling was emergency medicine. And then I went to primary care and I've enjoyed that. That's a great thing about nursing that many people don't look at is that you can change your specialty every year if you wanted to and learn so much about people in general. And that's my thing. I like learning new things. I also have a bachelor's degree in public administration. And I think I may want to go get my master's. And I want to get it in like disaster response and continue with doing uh, disaster response because I was on a disaster response team before. And originally, my job when I moved here was supposed to be on a disaster response team, but that response team got uh, defunded by the government. I guess the budget wasn't allowing it. So that's okay. I got myself, you know, I stuck in primary care, um, and I love primary care. I do have a lot of vets I, on the panel. That's what you call your list of patients. And I've had several trans vets come, you know, to see my doctor, and it's pretty cool. And it's not like I go, oh, so you're trans. You know what? So am I. But no, it's something you kind of just let them be. And so, like I believe I was talking with you earlier, it's just not something you just don't announce. Um, it, it's uh, it's really cool when you can help people that are like you. Well, I think what we're gonna do here, we've been on 2 hours and 16 minutes now on this stream. It's been a great stream. Met a lot of new people here. It was interesting that we were able to. I, you know what, Lena? It's it's been a big inspiration of mine since I was little. Um, when it's funny how I bounced around different career choices when you know as you grow up, you always feel like you're kind of told, hey, why don't you do this job? You know, it's going to make you good money and everything. And when I was little, I was always told, oh, why don't you become a doctor? It'll be good for you. It'll be good money. You know, the medical field's good. Um, and one of the things I always grew up watching as a little boy, because I did transition. Um, when I was little boy, when I was like 5 years old, I saw watch a show called Emergency. It was about the founding paramedics in Los Angeles County. That's where the paramedic system was invented. And I wanted to be a paramedic so bad. So as I grew up, my first job was as an ocean lifeguard. And then one of my buddies went and took an EMT class, which I went and took eventually. And then I became a road medic eventually, which is, I met one of my goals, helping people. As an ocean lifeguard, I helped people. As a medic, I helped people. Uh, and then um, and then I became a nurse eventually. When I couldn't work as a road medic anymore because of my epilepsy, I went on to become a nurse, and I help people. And this channel is about helping people, and I love helping people. That is my nature. I've worked on disaster response teams. I help people in their time of need. So this channel, that's what I'm trying to make it. And I hope I can make a difference. If it's not in 10 people, at least in the life of one person. That is my inspiration in life, to be able to help at least one person or one person a day. That's my inspiration in life. Um, so I hope I can do that. And I think with that being said, I am going to have to conclude this stream. We've been on here for 2 hours and 20 minutes, and I'm so happy we did have up to 5 people on here at one time. I did get some new subscribers. I've noticed, I've been looking at my channel analytics. We're up to 101, and I am very, very happy for all of you that have joined the stream, and have gone to the channel and subscribe. So please, anybody else that does watch this stream later on, feel free to hit a like down below, put a comment in the comment section, subscribe to the channel, share this video with anybody you know. There were a lot of good people in here that spoke. A lot of people some that I've known for about a week or two that are great people, and it's, you know, we're all part of the community. And I just love all the, as I call all of you that are my subscribers, all of you, or even just people that have visited, everyone in here will always be Jules' treasures. You will be some of my treasures, and I will, you know, always help you how I can in helping your life better itself, especially, you know, in whatever advice you need in the LGBTQI um, uh, family. So I hope I can be an inspiration to many of you. And once again, sorry for the reflection of my glasses. I'm going to have to find a way to make that better. But it helps me read my comments a lot much, you know, much better. So once again, thank you for watching my stream. Please like, subscribe down below, share the channel with people, and have a good day.